back at the Expo. This is the Doit's booth, Doit's 5100 GLS. Very excited to look at these. This is a 100-horse tractor. It is liquid cooled. They don't have air cooled anymore. That went away several years ago. They are now liquid cooled. Doit's is back in the U.S. We'll see how long they stay. But they are back, and they're really making a push. Overall, this tractor compares to me directly with a 4700 series tractor in Massey Ferguson's line, or a T4, or maybe a 5E John Deere. This is a comparison, or maybe some of the smaller farm-all cases. Manual shuttle. Think it had a telescopic steering wheel. I actually didn't ever move it, but I think it did. Cab was decent, roomy. It was a little bit narrow, but it was pretty roomy. Vents in the ceiling. Had a 5-speed, or is 5 or 6-speed transmission. I believe it was a 5. The linkage is in a good spot. The spool valves lever was in a good place. High and low transmission. The throttle right there was a little bit aggravating to get to. The loader joystick was a little bit far. Overall, with these tractors, the way this one here is set up, I wouldn't recommend it for a loader tractor, but a good field tractor. 540 engagement for PTO there, and then the parking brake. Ground level fueling with DEF fluid and diesel. They are cool, water cooled and no longer air cooled. Just want to make sure everybody knows that, because used to they were always air cooled. Decent linkage, double adjusters on each side. I like the stabilizer arm linkage. Here's the 5110G. This tractor probably compares more with a 5M John Deere, 5700 Massey, probably the T5 New Holland. The little knob was the 3-point. Obviously the spool valves. The throttle is in a lot better location on this one. Same transmission, but it did have 4 ranges, where the other one only had a high and low. Loader joystick still a little bit far. The power shuttle this one actually has, very nice. It's a lot better than the manual shuttle that was in the other one. 540 and 1000. Then it also has a lever for econo or normal for both. Parking brake, and I think this one has a telescopic steering wheel as well. Did have the glass roof in the top, very nice. Seemed to be a very, very well built tractor. Be a great bale tractor, loader work tractor probably. Price was a little bit high for me for the size tractor it is, compared to probably a Global Series 6700, but overall it was very, very well built tractor. Really like that one compared to the other one. Here's the 460 John Deere. The chains, I was kind of disappointed on this side. They didn't make them any heavier. Large flotation tires. The accumulator, I love the idea of it, but the bales are really close to the net box, and I don't know how that would work out if they didn't get in just the right position once or twice. Heavier chains on this side than the 9 Series had. Was glad to see that. Still not as heavy as some of the other balers though, so I think they do still need to beef that up some. The pickups, the style pickup I like, rotor, large merging rotors. Roller wind guard would probably be a little bit bigger. Here's the 6155, I think, R. Very, very nice tractor. Probably compared directly with a T6 New Holland or a 6700S Massey. Still has the power shuttle that I don't like. I do not like these that you have to put into a slot. They're supposed to be where you can flick them back and forth really easily. That's the whole point if you got a loader or something. But very, very nice tractor. Very nice tractor. This is also a R. It is a 5125R. Has front suspension underneath it, ground level fueling. This would probably compare directly with a 5700 SL Massey or T5 New Holland. right in that area. Still got the same power shuttle. Don't like it. Everything else though, very, very nice. Laid out was a little bit narrow, but it was okay. I do like the post RPM gauges and everything. I always thought that was cool how John Deere did that. But heavy built tractor, very well built. The cool packs were a little bit close where you couldn't get in between them though on this one. I know I didn't open the hood where y'all could see, but it was just a little tight. Other than that, it's pretty good. Here's the Vermeer 504R Classic, still the same net design, so I didn't really go over that a whole lot. That's on RM. Has a good pickup on it, camless, roller wing guard, mergers with large center axles in them, feed rotor, the long chains I'm not real crazy about that goes from top to the bottom design that Vermeer has. I kind of wish they'd get away from that. My favorite out of this one, out of the R series, is this signature baler. Has the heavier chains, the narrower belts, gap between them. That's more modern. Has the good pickup underneath it. It's a very good dry hay making baler. It's probably one of the best conventional balers to me on the market. As far as the budget wise, this is the premium. Couldn't really tell a whole lot of difference between the signature and the premium. The premium seems probably more geared up for maybe doing some silage work. It had a little bit heavier bearing, it looked like, on it, and a few other things. So if you're going to be baling a lot of hay and you want a simplified, more traditional style baler, you probably would want to go the premium, because the silage baler's always held up a little better. Heavier chains as well. The bale density is adjustable, is from outside the cab. I noticed on these they do have the knob for it, but overall very nice. Here's their mower that folds up to probably an 8-foot running width, and then when you're out in the field it goes up to, I mean, whichever size you buy. Generally these are around 15-foot mowers. Very, very nice design. I like this a lot because you can get down the road nicely and not have to worry about how wide the machine is, but when you get to the field it's wide. Here's the ride to the demonstrations on the wagons. This field here to your left, they were doing a spray demonstrations in it, and the application process of chemicals and stuff. As you can probably see right out here on the right, they're actually running across the field with a sprayer. The field right in front of them was one that they used for tillage demonstrations, and then behind me, which I showed in the last video, is actually where they were doing tillage. Got a Vermeer, a Krone, and what looks to be maybe a Massey. I can't quite tell from here. Behind the MF. Got to do it's pulling the Vermeer.
Yes, ma'am. There should be one back here. Okay. Okay, thank you.
SL. They told me they gonna sell those, and they're basically new, but they're 2 years old. They've just been down here using them. They're gonna have full warranty on major discounts on them. Really? So might be something to go talk to them about. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Good Lord. Are they all doing the same thing?
Yeah, they'll all fall on it. Huh?
Why is that one coming up so much?
It just throws it higher. I guess the air probably throw it high. No, it don't. I like it when they sling them high like that. My plow still throw it up there pretty good.
Oh, yeah, I do too.
And
that's
gets it dry.
I like that Vermeer tater.
Yeah, it slings it high.
It throws it way up in there.
Alright, we actually missed the tatting demonstrations because we were at the Massey booth filming and then talking to people too for most of the morning up until they started the actual demonstrations, and we got there a little bit late because it took us a little bit to get a ride over there on one of the wagons. But overall, very, very good mowers here. On this stage, you can see the Massey is a new mower that they've just come out with. It's the Razor Edge instead of the Razor Bar. I believe that head is basically the same head that was on the windrower. Very shocking how high that thing threw the hay. If y'all heard my wife say something and the guy next to me, it was something to see. But here we'll look at the cuts right now. Here is the Vermeer mower that folds it from 8 foot out to whatever size you buy. Very nice design, like I said earlier. I was a little bit disappointed with the cut, honestly. It was not the best, but this is very hard stuff to cut with the Moody Grass or Bermuda. It was some of it was dead and it was bedded down. Here's the Heston Massey Ferguson new Razor Edge. I believe this is basically just the head off of the windrower with a new bar on it as well. It does have the steel tine rollers. Here I'm showing the cut all the way across. Did a very good clean cut. Did have a few little places like most of the mowers we seen that day that come up, but overall very, very good cut. I have not always been a fan of the Massey mowers. I've told that several times on here before, but they impressed me with this mower. Wide bar, heavy duty steel, everything. I'm really liking that. I'm really liking the extra steel I'm seeing on a lot of the Massey stuff now. Just very well built mower. Here is the case. It is a hammer flail style mower. It's more traditional, older Heston design. Here's the cut. It had to leave some fluff to the. It didn't make a good clean cut, I'll just say it. It also doesn't have a flex head, I guess you could say, between the gearboxes, which I kind of like better because you don't run the chance of getting into the neck as you do with the older style Heston design. The Kubota, very impressed. For what Vicon used to be, which that's what Kubota equipment is, it looked very heavy compared to the more traditional Vicon that was more common in the recent years. They kind of went to being a lighter, more affordable mower. Now, this mower was extremely heavy. It was a rubber roller. Did have a lot of lift to it. Made pretty decent cut. Did have some hairs in the center. Here's the Fella. It is a 3-point side fold mower. It has a tine conditioner in it inside there. Very, very good cut. Seemed to be a decent looking mower. I don't know what AGCO's changed about their cut on their mowers, but I like it. It going the right direction. Here's the Chrome Easy Cut. We had a 3-point Chrome mower, as y'all probably have heard me talk about before. This one very heavy like the one we had. Very wide bar, well designed mower. Overall, looked like a pretty decent package. The cut for me was pretty good, but on the this side that I'm walking on, it did not make a very good cut for some reason, but in the middle and the far side it did. Even the rep said that they was doing pretty good except for that one side. Here's the John Deere Moco. Again, no double gearboxes. Not crazy about that on any brand. Seemed to be a pretty decent looking mower. Had the flails in it. Decent size wide pickup bar. Did a good job on the outside. The inside of the windrow, it seemed to have a little bit of fuzz left to the cut to it. But overall, pretty decent mower. But I can't get past these mowers that don't have the double gearboxes because you can get in them. For me, overall, as we watch them run across the field with the rakes here, and then we'll talk about them. For me, the mower cuts went probably from the Massey Ferguson Razor Edge to the Fella. Then it probably went to the Moco and Krone pretty well tie with the Kubota. Klaus was not in the field. Very disappointed with that. The only thing I could figure that they didn't run any demonstrations in the field. I know they're launching their new tractor line for the larger horsepowers, and they didn't have any of them there. Maybe they didn't want a competitor tractor pulling their equipment. But overall, for me, it was a very big disappointment that they didn't have anything in the demonstration fields. Peckway was not out there either, along with Kuhn. I don't know why. Maybe they didn't have enough slots available for other companies to get in to actually run in the field, and maybe they chose not to. I don't know, but it was kind of a bummer that those companies wasn't out there, because I like a lot of their equipment, and it's nice to see them up against the other equipment. In the rakes, they had a Vermeer roll bar rake. Then it had I think it was a Frontier John Deere basically rake. Then there was also a Krone rotary rake, a Kubota rotary rake, and there was another rake that I had never heard of brand that went by. It was a wheel rake, but I couldn't remember what it actually was. I think it was like a Titan or something. But for me, as y'all probably see here in a minute, the roll bar rakes are hard to beat all around. The thing with those has always been for me is the going down the road traveling. But I do kind of like the fact that you had to always double back. But I do like this Vermeer rake. They're still lacking a little bit. I'd like to see some more engineering go into that for road travel with them. But Vermeer roll bar wheel rake. John Deere wheel rake. Krone rotary. Kubota rotary. Alright, obviously the wheel rakes probably had the cleanest pass. The Kubota left a little bit behind the closest rotor to the windrow. I don't know if maybe that was because of something. The Krone did okay. Very good uniform rows. The wheel rakes do clean the ground good. Not as uniform a row as the rotaries or as fluffy, but they do clean the ground good. Didn't see a lot of trash in the windrows from them. The roll bar rake probably took the cake though. Alright, what I came to the farm show for, I wanted to see these balers run. Alright, you're going to see the McHales. I mean, you can done see them when they all took off at the back. The McHales left early. They left a good 2 to 3 seconds before anybody else did. Once the other balers got going, I think it was about the Massey baler seemed to be pulling away, but the Vermeers and the Krone were keeping pace with the McHales. But but they all seemed to be, those that I just named were all running about the same speed across the field, matching the McHale along with the Massey. You're also going to see the Bale Bandit, that is Bale Bandit, running the inlines with their equipment. Also, the Bale Baron is out there as well. There is a 1840 over on the other side of the Vermeer round balers. I kind of lost him, honestly, with the round balers. He was keeping really up with them when he was baling for a good ways across the field at first, and then they obviously ran off and left him. But I was shocked at how fast he was able to run. The New Holland with a wrapper on it actually did not tie. They had something go wrong with the net, unfortunately, but that happens sometimes at these shows. They've got these balers running as tight as they'll go, as fast as they'll go, and sometimes they adjust them a little bit to try to get as much performance out of them as they can, because they're all competing against one another. And sometimes they go the wrong way and it don't work out like you'd hope it would. So they got out and they did something to it, and then they actually baled another bale, and it baled fine. But the McHale's actually on the other side. One thing, the other test is how far they go. They all start at the same place, same field, all about the same hay in the rows, basically very close. The length at which they go is how much hay is in the bale. You also might notice is Deere is not in here. The Deere ran, the 460 Deere ran, but he was all the way on the end, running the opposite direction. He was running basically crossways of the other rollers, and I don't know what was going on, if they were had something that they were trying to tune out of that thing, or what the deal was, and get it right. But they baled several rolls, and they were going very slow over there. They weren't really demonstrating with everybody else. It looked more like they were trying to work something out of the baler maybe it was having an issue with. Here's the McHale. Very good form bale, but it didn't go as far as some of the other balers did, and it had a puff layer to the outside of it, I call it, in the net. Probably a good 3 inches of push that you could push down on, and it made it look a little lumpy. The Chrome Caprima was probably the most surprising to me. It didn't do the forming job that I thought it was going to do, but that's a chamber baler. The chamber balers just don't seem to form or pack a bale like the belts do. I still think if they make that a belt baler, it would be a top-notch winner. Kubota did very good forming and making a good bale with tight net around the outside with no fluff layer to the hay and then the net. But it just didn't put a lot of hay in the bale. McHale worked good. The wrapper one did. No issues I seen there. The Vermeer's R Series did an excellent job. Flat, uniform, very well formed, dense bale. The Pro as well did the same. Case did a good job with theirs, forming and making a nice even bale, but just didn't put a lot of hay in. The Vermeers did pretty good on the hay going into the bales. The Pro actually backed up a long ways. It actually ran all the way down with the Massey, which they're the same baler. If I'm not mistaken, AGCO's actually now building the Pro for Vermeer now that they bought Lely, because that was a Lely baler, and they're just painting it yellow for them. Massey did a very good job forming. Here's inside the chamber. That packed probably the most hay of any baler out there in the bale. Very good job. I'm really impressed with this baler. Thanks for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe, and I hope y'all enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time.